around 2027, we will actually be introduced to literal extraterrestrials because they're realizing the potential we have to destroy ourselves, and they cannot allow that to happen. One very straightforward way of preparing for contact, it's you act on your passion first, because passion is our physical translation of a message from our soul saying this is your frequency. When you raise your vibration, what happens? You become a better receiver of higher frequency information, communication, and energy. If you follow the instructions, it will work as advertised. If you don't, it may hurt you. When you decide, I'm going to buy into this negative belief, creation's going to say, okie dokie, I'll support you in that and magnify and amplify what you have chosen to believe is true. The universe is a mirror. If you're looking in a glass mirror and you see your face frowning, it can't show you a smile until you smile. And if you want to see the frown in the mirror change, you have to smile first because the mirror can't before you do.
Yeah. And I'm curious about Bashar's perspective on new souls and old souls.
No such thing.
Okay, great.
They're all the same age, which is eternal. The concept of new souls and old souls has to do with the level of a soul's experience in a particular environment. So in other words, a soul that might have chosen to have 1,000 earth incarnations is more experienced and older soul to someone who may only have 10 earth experiences. But that soul may have 1,000 experiences on another planet. And therefore, the older soul on Earth that may only have 10 experiences on that other planet suddenly becomes the new soul because it's not as experienced as the other soul who has more incarnational experiences on that other planet. Mm-hmm. So old and new soul has to do with the level of experience in a certain environment. It has nothing to do with the literal age of a soul because all souls are ageless.
And is it making that choice consciously for particular curriculum or lessons to learn?
The soul has absolute free will. When you are in the non-physical state, when you are a soul and you're deciding what you want to experience, everyone has a soul team, a soul family, spirit guides, angel, whatever you want to say. And you consult with them. You talk just like you talk with your friends on Earth. What should I do? I'm thinking of doing this. Does that sound like a good idea to you? What am I going to learn by doing that? What kind of an experience am I going to have? Well, you might find out this and you might find out that, and we think that might be good for you, or you might consider this. This might even be better because we have experience over here and you might want to try that out and blah, 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 blah. And you consult with all of your friends and your family in the soul realm and you decide, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this experience. And therefore, you go into the state where you focus yourself into what you call the physical realm. But you're not leaving the soul realm. You're just literally almost like rearranging your consciousness to have a daydream. And we call that daydream physical reality because this isn't real. It's a projection of consciousness. It's happening within your soul. And so is your physical body. So it's actually more accurate in a sense to not say my body has a soul. It's more accurate to say my soul has a body because physical reality is happening within the soul's consciousness, not outside of it. The soul never leaves the non-physical realm. That's its natural state. It can't leave.
Yeah.
So everything that's happening here in physical reality is actually happening within the soul in the soul realm. But we have created the focus to make it appear as if we have left the soul realm so that we can focus on what we need to experience as a physical being to learn new things, to discover new perspectives that can't be experienced in the soul realm because in the soul realm, you know everything. You have access to anything. There's no change in that sense in the same way. So physical reality as an experience is created to create great change and expansion because the structure of existence never changes. It's always the same. What changes and what expands creation is our perspective of it, our relationship to it, and our experience of it. So when we forget who we are by incarnating, having an incarnational experience, we are then allowed to remember and rediscover who we are from a new point of view. And that's how creation expands.
Beautiful. And are there any indicators that this might be a soul's last incarnation in physical form?
That is up to the soul every single time. There is no set curriculum in that sense. You have absolute free will. So whatever a human might say, well, this is going to be my last incarnation on earth, that might be true. But you really won't make that decision until you go back to the soul level after you die.
So each time you make that decision.
Every time it's the slate is clean. What do you want to do? Well, I thought this was going to be my last incarnation, but and then you start thinking, okay, well, that could be exciting. Now, you don't have to. You can stay in spirit. You can explore other dimensions, other realms, whatever. You can incarnate on other planets and other civilizations too. It's not just about Earth. But you will make that decision when you are yourself fully as a soul, because right now, as a physical mind, you don't really know why you might choose to have another incarnation. You'll figure that out when you're a soul.
I'm curious, and you may or may not explore this, but just came up spontaneously. What about suicide?
It's still all part of the thing the soul chose. Because again, see, you have to understand that from the soul's perspective, this physical experience is extremely temporary. And what it is that a soul may choose to go through is not only just for the soul's growth, but for everyone connected to that soul. All life paths are interconnected and intertwined. So you have members of your soul family that are also incarnating, that are affected in a certain way by your choice to suicide. And that can change what they're going through and make them understand, maybe I could have done this to help this person change their path. Maybe I could have done that. Maybe I can go and help people that are suicidal and maybe talk them out of it. You have to look at the whole picture of everyone that's affected by everything anyone does, because it's not always about just that person. It's about everyone they affect and impact in their lives. And sometimes things that seem to be, like, why would a soul choose to go through that, is actually helping humanity make sure maybe in the future that no soul ever has to go through that again.
Yeah.
So it's all about the lessons that are learned from all those experiences, which would be the reason that a soul might choose to do that, because the soul knows it's eternal and infinite. It's not really dying. But it also knows that if I do this, it's going to help people face why those things happen and really start figuring out ways that they can get people to feel better about themselves and find ways out of their situations that are more constructive. And that way humanity evolves. And so a soul can choose to do that for that reason.
You said soul family.
Yes. So just like on Earth, you have friends and family in the spirit realm. Soul families are a collection of souls that have made agreements with each other to play off each other and reflect to each other in different incarnations or even in spirit to help each other grow and learn what we need to learn, whatever a soul decides. So you have a lot of people willing to play parts, different parts. You could be my mother in one life. You could be my daughter in another life. You could be my son. You could be my father, my grandfather, friend, enemy, whatever role that you need to play so that I can learn what I need to learn, and I will play a role so that you can learn what you need to learn, and we'll interact. So a soul family is a group of souls that has agreed to come together to have these interactions and learn and grow together by providing all of these different opportunities to do so. Aside from that, they are part of your spirit team in general, because everyone also has a team that specifically helps you in guiding you through the physical incarnation that you've chosen to have. So you literally have working spirit guides that may or may not be part of your soul family, angelic beings that may or may not be part of your soul family, extraterrestrials, extra dimensionals that may be part of your team. All of them have different capabilities and different skill levels and different levels of experience to help you in different situations throughout your physical life. For example, what people refer to as a birth angel or a guardian angel, same thing, is a being from a very high level frequency we refer to as angelic, that makes sure that when you decide as a soul to have an incarnation, you set your entry point, which we call birth, and your exit point, which we call death. But we also know that certain things can happen in physical reality that could cause you to die sooner, just because of situations, sooner than you may have decided. But you can take advantage of that. So in other words, the birth angel or the guardian angel is going to say, all right, you have laid out a situation where you're going to experience a death, but it's going to be a near-death experience. So I'm here so that when you have that experience, I'm the one that's going to tell you your time's not up. You have to go back. Okay. And that way, you know that you have planned that experience, but you have someone who has your back that's saying, no, you promised that you weren't going to leave yet. You have some work to do and things you wanted to find out. So you're here in the spirit realm, but we're not going to let you go much further in the spirit realm. We're going to turn you around and send you back so you can complete your agreement. So you have all these beings that have your back and help guide you and make sure that you're going to fulfill the agreement you made with yourself to have this experience. So you cannot actually really die before you ultimately decided that's your true exit point.
So many questions. So good.
Yeah.
Are there some people that have done the angelic realms and...
No. Angelic beings are a different level
Okay.
of being altogether from
Okay.
a typical soul. There are different levels in the spirit realm, and that's almost like saying, I'm just going to use these colloquial terms for right now. People can refer to source, all that is, God, goddess, whatever they want to call it. But what we typically refer to as angels, it's like the first reflection of God. Because the idea of consciousness is the awareness of self. You are aware that you are different than something else. So there has to be a reflection of something else for you to know that you exist as a self-identity. Without that, it's homogeneous and there's no awareness of self at all. So there's two levels of consciousness. There's the unbroken oneness that has no awareness of itself whatsoever. It doesn't contain that ability. But within it is that part of it that is aware of itself by the idea that it sees a reflection of that which is not it. And that's how you get self-awareness, by knowing that there is something other than self. Otherwise, you can't know you have a self, right? So the basic idea is that whatever we want to call that highest level, God, goddess, source, whatever, the first reflection that it has of knowing that it is what it is and that there is something that it is else besides itself is what we call the angelic realm. That's the first split off or first reflection. Like looking in a hall of mirrors, okay? You're standing in the center of a hall of mirrors. The mirrors that are closest to you show you the reflections that are closest to you. Those are the angels. And then you go to the next level of mirrors, and that shows another level and another level and another level, all the way down to physical reality as the densest one, the one that, in a sense, quote unquote, vibrationally is farthest from the source. Not really, but you get what I mean. So it's all a matter of different frequency levels, different resonant levels of consciousness, of energy that create what we experience as every different thing. It's only different by the fact that it resonates at a different frequency. It's on a different vibrational level. So typical souls that incarnate are on a different level of the one, are a different expression of the one from the angels, which never incarnate and don't need to incarnate. They are what they are, and they serve the purpose that they serve by being that thing. And that doesn't require incarnations to be what they are. But the individual soul reflections of all that is, of source, are the ones that can experience free will and incarnate.
Okay. And with free will, you can ask for spiritual guidance, angels, guides, support.
Well, they're always supporting you. It's not so much a matter of asking for more help than you're getting. It's a matter of being aware of the help you're already
That's
getting.
beautiful.
So you have to open up to receive what you're already getting and be more sensitive to it. And again, going back to the formula, when you act on your passion, what happens? You raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, what happens? You become a better receiver of higher frequency information, communication, and energy.
Yeah.
So it's acting on that formula that gives you a better ability to be open to what it is you're already receiving. But again, you have to understand that guides are guiding you. They're not doing it for you, right? So a lot of times when they send messages, aside from the message your soul is sending you about this is your passion, this is who you are, your guides, your working guides are going to use, more often than not, what's right in front of your face to get a message across. So synchronicity is a big way that guides have of reaching you. A lot of times it follows what the rule is of information, which is the path of least resistance. So in other words, if the information is already in your reality, we don't have to repeat it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to direct your attention to what's already there. So let's say you normally take a walk at a certain time of the day, and you normally use the same path every day. So you come to the crossroad and you go, okay, normally I take a right and to go home. And for some reason that you just don't know, suddenly you just have this strong urge to go left instead. And as you walk down the block that you don't usually walk down, you overhear two people having a conversation, and something someone said is exactly the information that you were looking for that you couldn't figure out the answer to. So all the guide had to do was get you to turn left instead of right. They don't have to deliver a sermon in your head. They don't have to come with trumpets blaring or have an entire conversation or dialogue. That's not the way they operate. They send you feelings. They send you urges, so they send you energy. And it's the energy that then translates in, well, you should probably just turn left here today. I don't know why, but that's the feeling I get. And then synchronistically, oh, that's why. And that could have been your guides doing their job.